Kaapstad Braas is the place to be right here in Cape Town, Blouberg Strand. And of course, great entertainment, great food. And I've got a great guest as well today, Wijk. You do not want to miss this chat. Welcome back to another very cool episode today. Season 2, we traveled all the way from Stellenbosch to the beautiful mother city, Cape Town, Kaapstad Brouwhouse. And of course, I've got another great guest here with me today, talented young man, Wijk. Carl, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me. This is an absolutely fantastic opportunity, and I look forward to a great experience.
Oh man, yeah, I read through your bio, of course, yesterday as well. Intrigued me immediately. Very determined, focused young man. You're a model, a jack of all trades. You're also a drummer as well, because I'm a musician, and that for me was like, yes, I have to interview Carl and just find out about his awesome story. And of course, you started off as a designer in the Northern Cape, but of course your focus was also on Cape Town as well. Can you take us through how you all started as a designer, but also playing like music instruments?
So, let's take it back to where it all began. So, where the design aspect came in is I've always been a car guy. Since a very young age, I could recognize cars, and it's been an absolute passion and love of mine.
Yeah.
And the thought behind that was becoming a mechanical engineer, as the engine, as all little boys would be excited about, was the main focus, of course, and the main excitement behind it all. And through some exploration and asking around, what it came down to is that mechanical engineers in South Africa would not necessarily become a designer of a power plant. You would most likely become like a project manager or a leader in some sense, or a consultant. And that did not satisfy the creative desire and need that I had. So from there on, I stumbled around, and when I was 9, 10 years old, a friend of mine's dad introduced me to drums. He was a drummer in his young day, and there he introduced me to drums, and I've been hooked ever since. And that's where my passion for music and art as a whole really started taking center stage.
And you just focused on the drumming, or did you maybe feel like tempted to play guitar as well?
Ooh, I was very tempted. So I was the drums was the main thing, the whole rhythm, the drive of it. That's every time I listened to music, the first thing that caught me was the rhythm section. Whatever it is that is keeping the drive going. That was what was grabbing my attention. From there on, our neighbors had a piano. I played a little bit of piano. My sister got a guitar, and I started playing around with her guitar. And by the time I left school, I was I could play the instrument, but it was definitely not a notable skill. Drumming has always been the one.
Yeah.
And then after school, unfortunately, I just didn't have enough time to keep up with that talent and to keep on developing that skill. So drumming, then I fell back, you could say, to drumming, and then but was fortunately able to put in all my focus into that, and that led to me being in, at the moment, a fantastic band. And when I was studying in Bloemfontein at a point, I was also in one hell of a band. So yes, the focus has always been to be a musician, but just due to time and scheduling, etc., and life getting in the way as it does, wasn't able to go further with that. But who knows? The future is still ahead of us. There's still a lot that can happen. Drumming has always been the main thing for sure. And the reason for the design is I had to find a way for my logical and analytical mind. So maths example and science and how things work. That's also a very big interest of mine, but art is the center stage. And what happened is the best merger between the two was architecture. And that's where my eyes really opened to the world of design. So design was in the background without me really noticing it was there. And then by the time I started studying architecture in Bloemfontein in 2013, that's when I was like, wow, so I can actually change things and make my own look and feel. So that's always been, it's the combination of wanting to know how the world works and make it look good.
Sounds so cool, man. Would you say, like, Cal, there's like sort of chemistry when it comes to architecture as well with musicality and architecture together, like as a sort of a combination, as in like your vision forward, maybe? Do you think the one benefits the other?
the one benefits the other. That's a very interesting point, or a very interesting question, sorry. I think there is definitely some cases where they do influence each other and start to bleed in with one another. If you start looking at the basics, or the common thing between the two being harmonics and sound, the way it travels, etc. So there's a lot of different ways to design a building, for example.
Yes.
To have the sound captured inside, to have it have a certain or specific tonality.
Almost like an
or
inspiration.
Yes, or an amplification, even as well. So yes, there's definitely, when you go and look at the esoteric veil behind design and architecture and music and all this metaphysical kind of above floating things, there's definitely a field where they merge. The reason being is music brings people together for sure. And architecture arrange the space that we use, which is also a very, very structured way of bringing people together in a certain way. So yes, there's definitely similarities between the two, where you can, especially with harmony. Harmony is the main thing when it comes to music, and with moving into spaces and how you use a space. You also need harmony in that. There's definitely perspectives that you can interchange the skills and the experiences that you would like to have, and maybe have influence from the one into the other. And I know in ancient India, there are temples that the columns in the temples are sound waves in a 3D shape. So it's incredible. I'm not intelligent enough to even come close to understand how they did that or what they did, but there's direct reference of sound, which is, of course, the basis of music.
Why do I see you all of a sudden now on America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent with, you see one of these guys, one of these musicians, bolding stuff, images and music. I kind of see that in my sort of spiritual eye right now.
You may be on
Do you know what I mean?
You may just spark an idea
Your creativity coming just through so strongly. Absolutely amazing, man, Cal. I think there's so much in store for you, what you're going to bring to Cape Town. Great move coming to Cape Town.
Yes,
and
definitely.
I've got another question for you as well. What would you say was your like sort of obstacle the last 6 to 7 years, or obstacles that you faced, maybe in a sense of, oh man, it's becoming too difficult, it's becoming too hard, I can't do it anymore, nothing is working, and eventually, something just sparked again?
For me, that would have been myself. my own view and perspective of myself and how I fit into the world, or more specifically, how I thought I was supposed to fit into the world. I had all these preconceived notions and ideas of who I am and what I'm supposed to be, and most of it didn't work out. I've had a lot of hardships in terms of like bullying in school and stuff, because I've always been, I'm a very happy-go-lucky, very much in my own dream world, so I'm always floating away somewhere, but I'm also very reserved. So I was always kind of shy, and you could see I stood out a little bit to the side. So what happened eventually is I formed these ideas of myself and where I fit in and don't fit in, which turned out to be completely false. It was me giving in to the world and listening to what has been broadcasted over either social media or through word of mouth through your friends, which is also being influenced by social media and their parents with their influences, etc., etc. So my biggest hurdle has definitely been myself. And
you had to overcome that.
Yes, I had to believe that I am capable of overcoming the things that I seem to not be getting over. And it started with the small victories. The first thing was taking everything in 2021, everything that I know, my whole life that I know, just moving down to Cape Town and starting here, not knowing where my first footstep's going to be and where the last one's going to be. And just looking back at that and realizing that that's such a significant step and such a big deal, actually. And to celebrate that victory and to know that you can actually do these things, you just got to do it. And as soon as I started that and started realizing that is where things started flowing in into context a little bit more, because I wasn't as concerned with what other people thought of me, because
Yeah.
I also came to the realization that whatever you think of me doesn't really have anything to do with me. It's none of my business, in fact.
Yeah.
As long as I am conducting myself properly and being respectful, then what everyone thinks is what everyone thinks. Don't let that become your identity and what you think of yourself, and let it keep you back.
Yeah.
The only thing that can keep you back is yourself, and that is. I'm almost couldn't believe I came to that realization. It was like a aha. So it's really like that. It's just that.
Yeah. Yes.
Much easier said than done, of course. But as soon as I realized that and started doing the things that I knew I wanted to do, things that brought my passion to life, that sparked that fire in me,
Yeah.
and also trusting my friends and the support network that I set up for myself, knowing that there are those out there that really do want to see you flourish and
course.
achieve your biggest dreams.
Yeah.
And that was my struggle, and now that's fortunately in the past. I left that back in the Northern Cape to burn in the sun.
Yes. And of course, you cannot take the past with you, especially where you're going, which is leading me up to my next question as well. But I mean, like, you are such a positive guy, and I think the music should help you as well to kind of get over your sort of past struggles and sort of obstacles as well, especially being a drummer, because with drumming, it's kind of like you take all those sort of past, I almost want to say anger.
Yeah.
You kind of release it on the drumming. It's like when I go to the gym, you know what I mean? You lift those weights as well. You have to do these sort of things to get over your struggles.
It is,
But then again, I feel like, Carl, you've got so much to offer as well, your creativity, your talent as well. I think we're going to see so much here in Cape Town, but not just in Cape Town, in the country, traveling as a band, as a drummer as well, and where you are heading. I see a bright future for you. And what would you say as well, from a musical point of view? What is your biggest struggle as well, or obstacle as well to overcome to make it big time?
For a musician, I think, well, for myself, I think this is common for most musicians, but for myself, it is definitely consistency. Consistency
like
and discipline.
I like that.
Because you can have a natural talent, but if you don't put in the work, if you don't develop it, if you don't stay on top of things, there's someone in a different country, younger or older than you, with less or more than you, that wants it more than you.
So
and
true.
Puts in more than you.
So true.
And they're the ones that's going to make it. So discipline and consistency. That is the thing that I would say is essential for any musician to move forward.
Angelina Jolie said exactly what you said as well, from an actress perspective. She went up to receive her award, and she said exactly that. There's someone out there in some rural area, the same talent as me, but her environment maybe doesn't allow him or her to stand on the stage where I am at. So I'm grateful, and of course, consistency, using the talent you have, not taking it for granted, and just running with it. Love that. Oh man, I think it's so beautiful. I think that's actually a wrap, but I still have 2 more questions for you.
Oh, great.
Future endeavors?
Future endeavors. So, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, the main focus was for me to come to Cape Town was the modeling. In our previous conversation we had before the camera started rolling, but either way. So the future plans would be traveling abroad for great experiences through using the ticket of modeling. There we go. So I recently got involved with
music.
And music, of course. Never can't leave that behind. I'll be sure to pack the band with. I'll pack them in a suitcase. But the plan for the future endeavors, other than the music, of course, would be then the modeling. It's the reason I chose that, first of all, is because I've been not told, but suggested and given the hint to try it out. And because there is certain aspects and qualities and characteristics that I have that would fit in that environment. And looked into it, looked at the type of lifestyle that it entails, etc. And at first I thought it was going to be very glam and luxury and things, but that's not necessarily the case. What it is that you have a particular skill set that a particular client would like to use for a particular endpoint. And that gives you reach and influence, and it also gives you the opportunity to work with a multitude of incredible people and organizations, etc., etc. It is also lucrative, of course, which can help you in a lot of different ways. But the main idea for me with that is to build an audience to spread my message, and my message being that people need to return to being people. It's been a little bit difficult these days with everything that's going on. I mean, it's a war this side, and it is economical crisis on that side, and this and that. There's so much bad going on in the world today. And the only way I believe you could overcome that is for people to be here for people. My mother has this beautiful saying that the only reason why people are here is because people are here.
Yeah.
If people disappeared from planet Earth would flourish.
Of course.
If planet Earth disappeared, we would wither away.
Yeah.
But if we look after each other, then everything would be perfect. So the only reason I'm here is because you are here. And vice versa. We need to look after each other and be in harmony. And that is the message in a very tight little nutshell that I would like to build an audience for, to spread that message and for them to keep on spreading that message furthermore into the world. So that is my future endeavor plans.
Amazing, man. Love that. Especially, it reminds me of what Michael Jackson as well said and sang, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and for the entire human race.
Yes.
Love this episode this morning. And then to wrap up things from a musicality perspective and view, what's coming up in the next 2-3 weeks up until December? Where can people find you? And of course, where are you guys performing? I definitely want to come and see you perform, man.
Okay, so that's actually very exciting news. I mentioned to you about the gig that we will be playing. So the Talent will be playing the 7th of December. We will be playing a gig with the band Peasant, with Constellation and Sisters, the 7th of December at District in Cape Town. And it is Peasant's 10th year anniversary show. So it's going to be an absolute banger. And then a little something I haven't mentioned yet, the 22nd of November, the Talent will be dropping our latest single called Possessor. It will be streaming on Possessor, as in possessor, being possessed by a good force. Not the bad, the good.
Positivity.
Yes, that's the one. And we'll be having a music video dropping on the same day as well on YouTube. Song will be dropping on Spotify. So that will be in the upcoming month, you could say. That's the endeavors for the Talent so far. Next year is going to be an absolute banger as well. Keep your eyes on our Instagram page, our Facebook page. We'll be announcing everything long ahead of time, so everyone will have enough time to get tickets, get merch, all that things, and come and have a blast in the pit.
Amazing, man. And I'm pretty much sure you guys are going to perform here as well at Kaapstad Brauhaus in Cape Town.
If they'll have us, if the windows will be able to stay shut and we don't tear the roof down, we'll be happy to come and blast the place wide open.
Cal, I just want to wish you all the best. All your future plans. Amazing young man.
This has been an absolutely fantastic experience. Lovely conversation. Fantastic host. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All the best to you for your future endeavors, and I'm 100% sure that you guys are going to end up exactly where you are meant to be, and that's on the big stage and the big screen.
Well, that's a wrap here at Kaapstad Brauhaus, Cape Town, Blouberg Strand. We are not done yet. We're going to have a great meal, great food, great entertainment here at this awesome venue. Cape Town and Cape Townians, we love to have a great chat, but also just to have a great vibe. Well, that's a wrap once again on the couch with me, Brent, Wayne, the vet. Do not forget to like and also subscribe. I had a great chat with Cal, superstar early on, a great conversation, but also great food as well. Blouberg, Kaapstad Brauhaus for great times, entertainment. The ocean is right there. Table Mountain, situated on the left. Come and join Kaapstad Brauhaus for a great time throughout the week, on weekends as well. Till next episode.